Good morning, everybody. How are you today on this bright, sunny, beautiful, freshly new spring day? Thank you for joining me today for story time. I'm Miss Pam for the Upper Chichester Library. Today's first story is about spring. When will it be spring? And it's written and illustrated by Catherine Walters. It's a Dutton children's book. This book and the others that I'm reading today can be found at the Upper Chichester Library. So you can come in and pick those up. We still have curbside service, but you just let us know what you want and we'll be happy to bring it to the door and the window for you. Again, this is called When Will It Be Spring? "Come inside, Alfie," said Mother Bear. "It's time to sleep, and when you wake up it will be spring." "When will it be spring?" asked Alfie, "and how will I know when it's here?" Mother Bear replied, "When the butterflies float by looking for new flowers, then it will be spring." Okay, there's Mama Bear. There's Alfie. He's all wrapped up in autumn leaves, isn't he? What else do you see? I see a fox and a squirrel. And you can see they're back in a cave. That's where they spend the winter, Mama Bear and Alfie. So Alfie snuggled down to sleep. But when he woke up, Alfie could not tell if spring had come or not. He tiptoed across the floor of the cave, rubbed his bleary eyes. There he is. And saw butterflies. Look what he saw. Is that a butterfly? I think that might be a bat. What do you think? And he sees these little white, pretty little things falling out of the sky. Let's see what he thinks those are. "It's spring, it's spring," cried Alfie. "Wake up, Mother. I see a big gray butterfly and lots of little white ones." So he saw a bat and he thought that was a butterfly. Let's see what Mama says. But when Mother Bear came out, she could only see the soft fall of new snow. "Winter has hardly begun," she said. "Go back to sleep, Alfie." "But when will it be spring?" Alfie wanted to know. And Mother Bear mumbled sleepily, "When the swallows arrive and there are birds in every tree, then it will be spring." Look at that picture. Is that a springtime picture? No. See the snow? I think that's a winter picture, don't you? So little Alfie, he's brand new. He doesn't know what it is to sleep all winter and then wake up when it's spring. So then Alfie curled up again to sleep. He crept, and when he woke, he was sure it must be time for spring. He crept across the floor, peered outside, and saw birds in the trees. "Mother, wake up," squealed Alfie. "Spring is here. The swallows have come, and they are singing in the trees." I don't know if you can tell. I don't think those are really birds. Let's see what Mama says. But Mother Bird could only see icicles and hear the wind whistling in the bare branches. See the pictures of the icicles? And there aren't any birds. Those are old leaves and icicles. "You're dreaming, Alfie," she said. "Now go back to sleep." "But Mother," said Alfie, "when will it be spring?" And Mother Bear, already half asleep, grunted, "When the sun is bright and the air is warm, then it will be spring." So Alfie burrowed down in his bed again, and when he woke, he was quite sure spring was here. He patted across the floor, looked out, and he sees something bright and warm. What does he see? He thinks he saw a bright sun. "Mother, you've overslept," said Alfie. "Wake up, spring is here. The sun is shining and it's getting warm." Oh, what do you think he saw? Do you think it was spring yet? But Mother Bear could only see the hunter's fires. See? And quickly hustled her cub away. "Oh, now go to sleep," she said. "I will tell you when spring is here." So Alfie slept and dreamed of butterflies, birds, and sunshine until something icy touched his nose. A tiny stream of water was trickling through the cave. Alfie shook his mother awake and she growled, "For the last time, Alfie, it is not spring." But Alfie patted her hopefully until she got up, stomped through the doorway, and saw. She's not happy. He's already awakened her many times to tell her it's spring. But let's see what they saw. Oh, does that look like spring to you? They saw spring. Mother Bear rubbed her eyes and blinked in the warm, bright light. "Spring is here after all," she said with a smile. "But where is Alfie?" So there's Mama looking for Alfie, and look where he is. He's all snuggled down in the new flowers. He and a little squirrel, and he's sleeping because he stayed awake so much in the winter that he's tired. But that is a beautiful picture, isn't it, of spring? And it won't be too long before we have some pretty spring flowers, and the trees will have leaves. I just can't wait. I love it when we have sunny days like today, too. It makes me know that spring is soon on its way. We actually are in spring right now. We had the first day of spring on Saturday. But we have to wait a little bit longer for flowers. I do have some shoots coming up about that tall already out in my garden. I think they're the daffodils that are coming up. This story's called Frederick by Leo Leone. It's a dragonfly book. There's Frederick. What kind of animal do you think Frederick is? Does that look like a little mouse? I think it is. All along the meadow, where the cows grazed and the horses ran, there was an old stone wall. It's a wall made of stones. In that wall, not far from the barn and the granary, a chatty family of field mice had their home. But the farmers had moved away. The barn was abandoned and the granary stood empty. And since winter was not far off, the little mice began to gather corn and nuts and wheat and straw. They all worked day and night, all except Frederick. You see, they're all working, gathering food, and so they'll be ready for winter. There's Frederick. Does he look like he's working? How would you feel if you were working hard to make things better for your family and one of your brothers or sisters just sat there and didn't help? I don't think you'd like that very well. "Well, Frederick, why don't you work?" they asked. "I do work," said Frederick. "I gather sun rays for the cold, dark winter days." Well, it is good to get some sun. Gives us that good old vitamin D that we need. So it's always great to get some sunshine on your skin every day. And when they saw Frederick sitting there staring at the meadow, they said, "And now, Frederick?" "I gather collars," answered Frederick simply, "for winter is gray." So there they're putting the food in, and he's sitting looking at the beautiful collars. And once Frederick seemed half asleep. "Are you dreaming, Frederick?" they asked reproachfully. There's Frederick. "Oh no, I'm gathering words, for the winter days are long and many, and we'll run out of things to say." Well, the winter days did come, and when the first snow fell, the 5 little field mice took to their hideout in the stones. In the beginning, there was lots to eat, and the mice told stories of foolish foxes and silly cats. They were a happy family. But little by little, they had nibbled up most of the nuts and berries. The straw was gone, and the corn was only a memory. It was cold in the wall, and no one felt like chatting. Then they remembered what Frederick had said about sun rays and collars and words. "What about your supplies, Frederick?" they asked. And here they are, they're cold and their tummies are empty. And they're asking Frederick, what did he bring to help the family? "Close your eyes," said Frederick, as he climbed on a big stone. "Now I send you the rays of the sun. Do you feel how their golden glow?" And as Frederick spoke of the sun, and the four little field mice had their eyes closed and imagined the sun, and they began to feel warmer. Was it Frederick's voice, or was it magic? Just thinking about the sun made them feel warmer. "How about the colors, Frederick?" they asked anxiously. "Close your eyes again," Frederick said. And when he told them of the blue periwinkles, the red poppies and the yellow wheat, and the green leaves of the berry bush, they saw the colors as clearly as if they had been painted in their minds. So he was telling them to imagine they could see all the beautiful colors. Because remember, he told them that winter was very gray. So they can imagine the colors in their mind. That's what those little bubbles are. It's what they're thinking. "Well, and the words, Frederick?" Frederick cleared his throat, waited a moment, and then, as if from a stage, he said, "Who scatters snowflakes? Who melts the ice? Who spoils the weather? Who makes it nice? Who grows the 4-leaf clovers in June? Who dims the daylight? Who lights the moon? 4 little field mice who live in the sky. 4 little field mice like you and I. One is the spring mouse who turns on the showers. Then comes the summer who paints in the flowers. The fall mouse is next with walnuts and wheat, and winter is last with little cold feet. Aren't we lucky the seasons are 4? Think of a year with 1 less or 1 more. When Frederick had finished, they all applauded. "But Frederick," they said, "you are a poet." Frederick blushed, took a bow, and said shyly, "I know it." So that was his gift for the family. What were they? Do you remember? He told them to close their eyes and think about the sun so they'd be warm. to close their eyes and think about the colors because winter was so gray. And then he brought them words in his poem talking about the 4 seasons. Do you remember what the 4 seasons are? Well, let me see. Right now we're in spring. What comes next? Summer, fall or autumn, and winter. And Frederick helped them think of happier times so they could get through the cold winter. And aren't we happy that we're just about through the cold winter and ready for springtime ourselves? Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll come back again next week at 10:30 for story time with Miss Pam for the Upper Chichester Library. Have a great week. Bye-bye.